Welcome, everyone. My name is Zoe Crook. I'm the Director of Marketing here at International Programs, and I'll let Jewel introduce herself as well.
I'm Jewel, and I'm a part of the finance team here at IP. And today we're going to talk about why money matters when considering studying abroad. So we're going to talk about fun topics like Florida prepaid, bright futures, loans, grants, scholarships, deferments, payment deadlines, and most importantly, where to go if you have additional questions.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. So, we're gonna get into it here. There is like a Q&A feature. If you haven't been on a Zoom webinar before, it's basically we can't see you. It's just us up on the screen here. So if you have questions, just enter them into that Q&A box. And then Jewel and I will be able to see them. And we also have somebody kind of in the background, Michael Sussinger, who will be answering some of those questions as well. But we're going to save the bulk of those questions for the very end, so just stay tuned. And if you were in our last info session about academics, these first couple slides are going to be a little bit of a repeat, but just hang in there because then Jules going to get into that nitty-gritty info about financial aid. So we will go ahead and get started here. So if you're unfamiliar with FSU international programs, it's kind of cheesy, but every day is an adventure when you're abroad. This is something we like to say. So you'll be earning FSU credit in a new location and immersing yourself in another culture. You're going to make lifelong friends, learn skills in cross-cultural communication, and use the city as your classroom. So you're going to really be going out, having these small class sizes, going out into the city and fostering those relationships with your professor. And of course, you'll have time to travel and see the world. And FSU is ranked in the top 15 study abroad programs in the nation. So we have over 65 years of experience sending FSU students abroad. And just a quick overview of our locations. We have four main study center locations. Well, three of them are study centers, and then we have a branch campus in the Republic of Panama. So these are going to offer a variety of courses at these locations that you might need to graduate, like graduation requirements, core FSU classes, and courses for your specific major and minor. And FSU owns and operates these locations, so they're going to have everything that you need: classrooms, libraries, computer lab, FSU faculty and staff. So they're going to kind of be the hub for your study abroad experience. And then as you can see here, we also have additional programs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those locations too. So these are going to be mostly over the summertime. So that's kind of here to talk about today are those summer programs. And this is going to be major or minor focused curriculum. You'll be able to go with FSU faculty usually leading these programs, and they'll just let you kind of dive deeper into that curriculum with excursions to kind of highlight those areas of study. And then this is also going to go towards that summer residency requirement that you have to do at FSU. So instead of spending a summer here in Tallahassee, you could do that abroad, which is a great option. And you'll be able to kind of just study a variety of classes and curriculums as well. So definitely check those out on our website. And then lastly, before we hand it over to Jewel, I do want to talk just a little bit about what you'll gain as a study abroad student with international programs. Because study abroad is more than just the classes you'll take and the travel you do, you're going to be making all of those friends along the way, and you're going to bring them back with you to Tallahassee as well. So even if you don't know anyone when you're going abroad, you'll have an opportunity to build connections with a diverse group of friends that are going to stay with you for the rest of your life. And you'll be able to kind of make those core memories together and expand your global perspective. And like I said before, you'll be learning in an immersive environment where the city becomes your classroom. Professors are going to kind of take you out into the city. You're going to go to museum visits, do walking tours around the city, all as part of your curriculum. And you're going to also, stand out from the crowd. So these are going to be great opportunities for, when you're applying on a resume or with a job interview. This is something to just kind of make you stand out in those applications. Yeah, so now I'm going to kind of just hand it over to Jewel, and we're going to get talking about financial aid. And like I said, if you have any questions, just make sure to put those in the Q&A.
Okay, so before we can talk about financial aid, we have to talk about eligibility and how to be considered for any award. So to be considered, you have to complete a FAFSA application, and you can do this on studentaid.gov. If you've already done your FAFSA, which is the 25-26 FAFSA application, this FAFSA application covers fall 25, spring 26, and summer 26. Boards will post in about April for our summer students that are joining us today. And then as long as you're enrolled in at least 6 credit hours, a a financial aid package will be created for you. So if you haven't completed a FAFSA yet, applications typically open October 1st of each year, and it usually closes about July 31st. And then yeah, it usually goes about July 31st. So if you haven't done it, you still have some time to kind of go ahead and do your, no, actually, no, that's done. Okay, so some of you may wonder, why should I complete a FAFSA application if I'm only offered loans whenever you do? All right, so remember, financial aid usually includes federal, states, university grants, and any additional loans that you may need. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen on your financial aid package an FSU grant before. And that is usually given on a first come, first served basis, and you do not have to be a need-based student to be awarded something like that. So a little nugget is, of course, always complete a FAFSA application because you don't want to leave any money on the table. Okay. Next.
Okay.
All right. So what are loans? Who can get them? And what if you need more? All right. So Stafford loans are the most common loans and what you would normally see on your package. So that's your sub and unsubsidized loans. A subsidized loan is not usually given to every student. Subsidized loans are usually given or awarded to our need-based students. And for our non-need-based students, you're offered unsubsidized loans. So these can help you if you need that additional funding or just additional funding. So usually these are the first things that you're offered, and it's easily to go ahead and accept it on your account if you are considering loans. You have to complete a FAFSA application to be offered any of these sort of awards, and your FAFSA has to demonstrate need to get a subsidized loan. Next slide. All right, so if you need additional loans, that would be your Parent Plus or just Plus loan in general. We have any graduate students that have joined us. Plus loans are basically credit-based, same for private loans. But Plus loans for parents are for parents that maybe you don't want your students to take out a loan in their name and you would like to take one out for your student. You basically can get approved through the Plus loan to use it towards your students' educational expenses. Plus loans for graduate students, you're typically going to be awarded your unsub for about $10,250. And if you need anything in addition to that, you can always get that through a Plus loan. You can apply for these types of loans on studentaid.gov if you're interested in those sort of loans. If you want something outside of that, we have private loans, which are basically any sort of non-federal loans that are going to be awarded through a private lender. These are also credit-based, and FSU has partnered with Elm Select to kind of help with the research of that. So if you're not sure, or like myself, you didn't know any private lenders out there and you need some help, that website basically lists them all out there. It's non-biased. So you have to do a little bit of legwork to kind of figure out which loan kind of works for you. You can also apply for any of those loans through that website. And that application is usually sent directly to our financial aid office here on main campus and processed, and you can see it on your award count once it's approved. So yeah. All right, so most of my questions are about this slide. So hopefully this answers any of the questions that you all have. So Bright Futures, like I just said, is and Florida Prepaid is very popular and can be used towards your program fees. We know that this is very popular, so we have a dedicated page on our website where you can kind of find the information that I know you want to know. How much can be applied towards your program fees? So on our Money Matters tab, or on every program page, there is a Money Matters tab, and under that tab, you're going to find a Bright Futures or a Florida Prepaid tab that breaks down how much would be applied towards your program fee based on like your scholarship type, so academic or medallion, or your plan with Florida Prepaid. So if you have a tuition plan, a local fee plan, a dormitory plan, all of that information is there and it tells you exactly how much is going to be awarded to you based on the number of hours. Um, yeah, so that next slide. All right, so outside of Bright Futures, we do have other opportunities, which is our IP scholarships. They are usually on our, we usually award about 200,000, yearly to our students. So if you're interested in opportunities outside of course, Bright Futures, and you're looking to supply some additional funding towards your program fee, we do offer that. So next slide. On our webpage, on the Money Matters tab, or under the Money Matters tab, you're going to find the scholarship tab. And under there, you're going to find not only lists for IP scholarship opportunities, but other departmental opportunities, outside scholarships. All of that is listed there. But we have kind of simplified how you apply to IP scholarships by placing a general application on the FSU for you page that lists basically international programs in the semester that you're going. So if it's summer 26, you're going to see the scholarship application that says international programs, summer 26. By applying to that one application, you're considered for what, of course, you are eligible for and what has funding. You're going to be notified if you are receiving any of those IPE opportunities before you have to commit to your program. So a lot of your commitment fee due dates isn't until January, I believe, 15 for summer 26. So if anybody's not in summer 26, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, you're going to be notified before your commitment fee due dates. Now, if you're applying for other opportunities outside of IP, I can't say for sure that you'd be notified before commitment fee due dates, but definitely IP. All right, disbursements. A lot of you would have already done or completed your to-do list items if you're joining us in summer 26, at least I hope. Or if you are inspired by today on my first slide that we went over, which is do that FAFSA application to see if there's any opportunities out there that you can get, then there may be some to-do list items that you need to complete that will hold up your disbursements if they're not done. The worst thing you want is to be abroad and you have to-do list items that you cannot really, it's going to be much harder to resolve while you're abroad when you can do it now. All right, so permissions. Most of this is automatically done when you apply, but for our Parent Plus student parents out there that are thinking about doing that, make sure you do a Parent Plus loan authorization form. That way you can kind of avoid that payment being sent to you through the mail. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of a tip about Tallahassee. We have a really slow mailing system, so that process is extremely slow. So consider that. If you would like, that form basically allows our student finance office to automatically apply your plus loan to your program fee. That way you're not waiting on a check and then you have to pay us. And we know, like I said, it's going to be an extremely long process, which is probably well beyond our due dates. And we want to make sure we meet our due dates, which we'll go over in a later slide. All right, so for any of you that do not already have direct deposit information on file, we want to go ahead and do that in case you have a little bit of extra left over. Or like we just discussed, some things are being sent to you directly that couldn't be applied to a program fee that you may need to apply with, I don't know. But you want to make sure you have your direct deposit information on file. And if you need directions on how to directly do that, you can always email us and I can send you step-by-step directions on how to do so. All right. So, um, okay, yeah, deferments. This is a very important form for a lot of our students that are receiving any sort of outside aid. So a deferment is a financial binding agreement. I said it slow for a reason. It's a financial binding agreement that allows students who have any sort of outside aid to delay the due date from our original due dates that we have posted online to 10 days after the start of your term to allow time for your aid to apply to your program fee. This is really important for our students that would not like to pay for a program fee up front and wait for a refund. When your aid does disperse, you can avoid that by doing a deferment form, and we will move the due date for what you defer to 10 days after the start of your term to allow time for all of that to apply to your program fee. Yeah, to allow it to apply to your program fee. So most of your aid is going to disperse within that window. Of course, there may be some scholarships, but most of it will. So that is why we offer that form. But I do want you to read over our fee liability page before you ever consider completing a, a fee binding, a financial binding deferment. It's important to know what you are agreeing to if you decide to commit to our programs. All right, so who can complete a deferment? Most of our FSU students can. You can defer some or all of your fees. For our non-FSU students, you can only defer 50% after you complete or pay your commitment fee. 50% after that. All right, so a great example of how a deferment form works is if a student is taking 6 credit hours and you have a Bright Futures academic scholarship, that scholarship pays $213.55 per credit hour. For 6 credit hours, that equals to $12,881.30. So if our make-believe student paid our commitment fee of $1,500, and I'm just going to choose my favorite program so far with Summer, and she's attending our Vampire and Empire with it in Romania. And that program is a total of $7,625, considering what Bright Futures will pay and what you already paid of your commitment fee. That means on the final payment deadline, our student would pay $4,483.70. All right, so that's the importance of a deferment form. It saves you from paying what Bright Futures would have paid. All right, payment deadlines. As you can see, the first thing that you're going to see placed on your account that's going to be charged to you is your application fee. But since we're talking about summer, there's so many cool programs in summer that I know you're going to find a lot that you're interested in doing. So every time you apply to a program, $100 fee is going to be applied to your account. So if you mistakenly apply to the same program twice or 3, because you're so excited, let us know so we can remove the extra application fees. But like I said, every program that you apply to, $100 application fee will be applied to your account. And then after you pay your application fee and you are admitted to your program, the commitment fee will be applied to your account. So for most of our summer students, your commitment fee is gonna be due on January 14th. And most of them about $1,500. So if there is any spring break students in there, most times you can find where or how much your commitment fee is by going to our website, and every program page has a dates and documents tab that goes over the due dates and how much or what that commitment fee is for that program. The last thing or the last charge that's typically applied to your account after you pay the commitment fee is the final payment, a full payment charge for whatever is left. Kind of like the example that we went over earlier with our student that's going to Romania to experience vampires and empires there. All right, so to wrap up what we talked about today, yes, Water Prepaid and Bright Futures can be applied to a program fee. And if you want to know how much, then on our webpage under the Money Matters tab in Bright Futures or Florida Prepaid, you're going to find the breakdown of how much that is. Yes, financial aid can also be applied, but you have to do a FAFSA application. I hope those of you that thought maybe it's no way I could get financial aid or any sort of grant, that I inspired you today to consider completing the FAFSA application, because like I said, I'm sure most of you that may typically qualify for your unsub loan or maybe not need-based, some of you have seen an FSU grant awarded to you, right? So you want to consider doing that to be considered for any sort of financial aid or loans, especially our federal loans. We also discuss our IP scholarships and opportunities, other opportunities that are out there in case, maybe you want more. We discussed that as well. So we also went over, yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, you can contact us at FSU, I'm sorry, IP-financialaid@fsu.edu, especially if any of you would like that link to how to add direct deposit on your account, or any of our parents that need the Parent Plus authorization form.
Awesome. And that QR code in the corner as well will take you to a list of resources. And we're going to also share some more QR codes here. So thank you to Jewel for answering all of our financial aid questions. And if you have questions, go ahead and put them in that Q&A feature. We'll get to them in a second. First, I just want to highlight our next info session. So for being in this info session today, you're receiving a $500 airfare scholarship entry, so an entry to win that. And then if you register for our next info session, which is on October 2nd, which is also a Thursday, same time, 1 p.m. on Zoom, register through this first QR code here, and that's going to get you another entry. And in that info session, we're going to talk about the application, how to apply, things to consider before you study abroad, admissions type questions, because that's right before our applications for summer open on October 8th. And then we also have that second QR code is going to be an interest form. So it's just like your name, your email, and that's just if you want to receive updates about summer applications. And then that last one is just our social media links and other resources. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We do have a question here, Jewel. Can Vera's scholarship be used towards summer abroad program for 6 credits?
I would definitely contact the Office of Admissions and ask them if they are going to award you that scholarship in summer. But yeah, it can be applied to your program fees. That scholarship is typically about $2,000, so definitely reach out to them and see if it can be applied.
Awesome. Another question here, how does FAFSA know if I'm attending a study abroad program to get an estimate cost of how much they'll be covering, or does FAFSA just cover it as a normal term?
Um, in April, when they are packaging students for summer, they're going to verify that you are in a minimum of 6 credit hours. And they're gonna basically award you based on what you typically are awarded and 6 credit hours or whatever you're awarded, or enrolled in.
Awesome. I'm not seeing any other questions at the moment. But again, if you all do have questions for Jewel, email that ip-financialaid@fsu.edu email address, or you can always contact us on social media as well. We got another question here. For Bright Futures to apply, can I take 6 credit hours between two different summer terms like A and B? I believe the answer to that is yes. Yeah. So that's a great way too. Like if you want to do a summer program that's like only 3 credit hours, you can always like, let's say it's in the second half of the summer, you can do 3 credit hours in Tallahassee for the first half of the summer, and that's going to be those 6 credit hours full summer. All right. If anyone else has any questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll stay around for a couple more minutes. But otherwise, feel free to log off. We will be posting this recording also on our YouTube, and we'll send that along as well. Let's see. If we have Florida prepaid dorm, will that cover for the housing? We have more of a breakdown on this on our website that Jewel was kind of talking about under that Money Matters tab. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Jewel.
If you're thinking about using Florida Prepaid Dorm, your plan in summer, make sure you do your authorization form, but we can charge it a little bit more than what you typically are charged with main campus. We can charge it up to $4,050. So even for our students that are thinking about, I have an apartment already that I kind of use that plan towards, we charge a little bit more where maybe you might want to consider us charging your plan and doing a little bit something different with your apartment off campus.
Great. I'm not seeing any other questions here that we can't answer directly. So if you have another question, put it in. All right, I'm not seeing anything else really comes through, so we will go ahead and end this webinar. But thank you all for attending, and like I said, we will put this on our YouTube as well, so be sure to check that out. And you can see the recording, reference it, and we'll send out an email as well. And for attending today, you will get that $500 airfare scholarship entry, so be sure to check out that as well. Thank you all.